Hi everyone. I hope you're all doing well. I'm Shubham Bansal, your host for today's game-changing session. We are excited to have you here for our webinar, which is Unlock Your End-of-Season Sale Potential, Scale Profitably with Bigatom. All right. Without further ado, I think let's dive right in. We have a good amount of people live with us. To begin with, did you know that brands see up to 30 to 40% increase in ROAS during sale events, especially for campaigns tailored with product level strategies? That's typically because during high traffic periods like end of season sale, it's not just about offering discounts. It's about knowing which products to push, how to structure your campaigns, and where to make every impression count. Whether you're dealing with massive catalog, aiming to clear inventory, or looking to boost profitability across channels, you're in the right place. In the next 30 minutes, we'll break down how top brands are scaling their performance during sales season with strategies that improve three things. Number one, product discoverability. Number two, conversion rates. And number three, budget efficiency. And yes, these strategies are designed to work at scale without disrupting your existing BAU campaigns as well. Without further ado, let's welcome our speakers. We have Gaurav Shapariya from Aza Fashion. We have Anshuk Aggarwal from Adyogi, and we have Praveen Kumar as well from Bigatom by Adyogi. Gaurav, I would love if you could just introduce yourself to the audience here.
So, Shubham, thank you. Thank you so much. Glad to be a part of this webinar and help in my own little way. So, I'm Gaurav. I currently work as a growth marketing manager at Aza Fashions. So, Aza Fashions is a premier destination for designer fashion, right? And yeah, so I'm associated with Aza Fashion for last 3 years now. Been in the luxury space for almost 6 to 7 years out of total 12 years of experience, right? So half of my experience is being into the luxury space, and I currently work in the online vertical part of the business. And yeah, so let's see how the session goes.
Thank you, Gaurav. I would like Anshuk to introduce himself now.
Hi, everyone. A very good evening to all of you. Really happy to be a part of the ninth edition of the Bigatom webinar. Shubham, me, Praveen have been doing this for the last 6 months now. I'm one of the founders of Adyogi, being in performance marketing space for 10 years. This year in August, we complete our 10th year of Adyogi. As part of this, I have interacted with 100 plus founders directly across the retail and e-commerce space in India. The space has also moved very rapidly in the last 10 years. When we started, it was D2C first or D2C only. Then during COVID, we saw people scaling and opening their Shopify stores left, right, and center. We saw retail picking up very rapidly in 2022, 2023. And no guesses for telling what is the hot topic of today. That's quick commerce, Zepto and Blinkit. So me and of course the team have seen it through. We have scaled brands from early stages to 100 CR, 200 CR. One of our biggest brands does 400 CR across D2C and marketplace ecosystem. And we have seen that sale or end of season sale or events or micro events, as we call it at Adyogi, are very critical to scaling these brands. I have personally learned a lot interacting with Gaurav and many such teams running these events, and happy to share these insights during our talk today. And back to Shubham.
Thank you, Anshuk. We have the third panelist as well, Praveen.
Indus Valley, also strategizing in Likely Boss and many other brands. So happy to be a part of this webinar, and yeah, I hope you'll find some valuable insights from this.
Thank you, all panelists for introducing yourselves. We'll now get started with a quick poll. You'll all see it on your screen now. Anta, could you just present? Yes. So there's a poll for everybody. You will get options on your screen as well. The poll goes as: are you planning to run end of season sale for your brand this season? Would love to hear your inputs if you guys are going on end of season sale with July coming up and the festive season just building up now in the second half of 2025. I think most of the brands will be going ahead. But yes, waiting for everybody to answer here. All right. I think thank you for the responses. Most of the people have said that they are obviously gearing up for the end of season sale, which is very good to hear. I think it's a great reason to boost up some of the revenue that a lot of D2C brands can do. Our goal for this webinar is also to help you with strategies to unlock your full potential this sales season. Let's have a quick look at the agenda. Anshuk, can you turn the slide? Yeah. We'll start with Gaurav, who will dive. We'll start with Gaurav, who will dive into how Bigatom helped Aza Fashion tackle key challenges at scale. Then Anshuk will walk you through 10 proven strategies that brands are using to maximize their performance during sale events. We'll wrap up with an interactive Q&A session to answer your questions live. Now, I would like to welcome Gaurav to kickstart this amazing session.
Thank you. Thank you, Shivam. So I'll start with the brand background and, just to give you a gist of what Aza Fashions is. So it's a premier destination of luxury fashion. We are into business, like we'll be completing 20 years this year as a brand, right? And we have more than 1,500 plus shop designers associated with us. So we are a multi-brand store, right? And as Shubham mentioned, right, Ad Yogi or Bigatom has been a very integral part of how things are at our end from a sales perspective. We do generally have big luxury sale, which is our in-house IP for our EOSS sale only. Then we do have anniversary clearance sale, Black Friday, Cyber Monday sale. So yeah, I think from that perspective, I think we'll dive deep on how Bigatom has added value. I think can you do it next slide, please? Yeah. So just to give you a gist of, right, so we have more than 2 lakh PIDs at our end, right, like product IDs, 2 lakh SKUs, and focusing on certain or providing USP certain PID level was always an issue, because anybody who has worked with Meta, they have overlays and stuff at a campaign level. So working at PID level has always been an issue, but now when we started working with Bigatom from quite a long time, we are able to exactly do that. We are able to provide a particular PID is only exclusively available with us. A certain PID we have available in RTS and stuff. So what this helps us do is this helps us convey that USP and clearly communicate that USP at a PID level across all the campaigns. So yeah, it is very beneficial when you see the overall size of the catalog which we have, and working at a PID level is something which is very useful in our scenario. Can you show the next slide, please? Yeah, so this is a big one, right? So what was happening is, now, as I mentioned, right, the PIDs are so, like, the volume is so high. Like, how do you define, what is working, what is not working at a PID level, right? You still have some idea through our internal data at a category level and stuff, but say for an example, a use case is that I want to promote 100 of my bestseller PIDs to a certain category of users. Now, I don't know what my current campaigns are doing at a spends level, right? This is exactly what Bigatom helps us solve, right? It gives us spends at a PID level, at a category level. So I can, slice and dice that data and, mix and match with my internal data to come out with action points in terms of, which particular cohort is responding to which PIDs, what countries are responding to what PIDs, and where should my focus point be, and where we are currently. Like, that is a very important thing to know, like where you are currently. Only then you can plan out where do you want to reach, right? And then the data point which Bigatom provides us is quite beneficial in that scenario. And one of the thing I also want to add, right, it helps us. So what happens, there will be many PIDs which will, kind of drain your budget in a way that, they are taking up too much money, but there is no ROAS there. So what we do is, we also use stop loss, which is a feature of Bigatom, to kind of identify those PIDs at a very granular level and, understand what is happening, and accordingly take actions. Either, do something from our end, or let Bigatom make those PIDs inactive if that is not adding any value to our bottom line after spending some money on it. Yeah, so recently, we also have majorly started taking up something called assisted ROAS. So these PIDs, which are crowd pullers, I would say in our terms, right? Which helps us get those clicks, get those customers on our website, but they might not end up buying those PIDs, but ultimately they help in making a conversion of some other products. So what we have started doing is we have identified this cohort of products, right, which we use at top and mid funnel to kind of bring customers to the website, and ultimately something clicks to them and they end up buying. So these PIDs, which provide high assisted ROAS, they help us identify, like they help us getting customers to the website at a top and mid funnel level. Yeah, off to you, Anshuk.
Thank you, Gaurav, for that valuable insights on how Bigatom helped Aza Fashion tackle challenges that many brands face. I'm pretty sure a lot of the brand owners that we have in this webinar would have found that helpful and insightful. With that, let's move on to the next part of the presentation. I'd like to invite Anshuk to take this forward.
Thanks, Shubham. Hi, everyone. Good evening again. Like I said in the beginning, 10 key strategies. We've been working with several brands on helping them scale during end of season sale and helping them scale during events. What we have done at our end is we have compiled a list of 10 key strategies which we have seen brands deploy during end of season sale or events. It need not be just an end of season sale. It could also be a Raksha Bandhan event or a Diwali event. Many of these strategies are applicable for events as well. What I'll do is I'll walk you through these 10. Happy to sort of get your inputs, happy to get your questions towards the end as part of our panel discussion. Before we start, we have one more poll coming for all of you. I know roughly about 50% of you said that you are planning an end of season sale this year. We have a question which says, how much are you able to scale during sale days compared to your BAU daily revenue run rate? Which means that if you're doing 1 lakh a day on your business as usual day, how much are you able to do using your sale days? Is it 2 lakh a day, which is less than 2x? Is it 2 lakh to 5 lakh, which is 2x to 5x? Is it more than 5x, which could be 5x to 7x or more than 7x? This will give us an estimate of how successful are your event days compared to your business as usual days. Maybe we'll take another 10 odd seconds for anybody who has not responded yet. Perfect. So we see that roughly 60% of you have said that you're able to scale 2x to 5x during the sale days compared to BAU, which is actually a good number. There are another 16% who have said 5x and 7x or 7x and above. And roughly about 1/4 of you have said less than 2x. At Adiugi, we have a gold standard, and the gold standard is 7x. So if you are doing 1 lakh a day during BAU, business as usual, we say that up to 7 lakhs a day is possible during the event days if you're able to pull off the event really well. And this event could, like I said, could be an end of season sale. It could be Raksha Bandhan as well. So what I'll talk today about are some of the best practices which a brand can deploy to achieve that 7x number compared to the business as usual. So these are the sort of 4 key steps or 4 key, I would say, buckets, which we have categorized our strategies into. And we have a few logos sort of put in, which is what we have seen brands use those strategies. Number 1 is pre-buzz, which is what you do ahead of the event or end of season sale. This is where we see mid-funnel campaigns being run by brands like Milton and Only. I'll talk about them in my subsequent slides. Second, we see as feed setup. So feed is extremely important to scale your campaigns during the event. We'll talk about two very specific best practices which brands like Forest Essential and Levi's have used to set up their feed for the event days. Third is campaigns. Of course, you need to set your campaigns for sale, which is what I will talk about in the third bucket. We'll take three examples of brands like Rare Rabbit, Libas, and Include. And the last bucket is creatives. Creatives are very, very critical. We will talk about how brands like Bewakoof, Purple, and Sephora have used creative overlays during their sale period and what kind of impact they have seen. So I'll just move on to the one by one each of these buckets. I have around 10 slides. I'll spend around 10 odd minutes in it. Please, happy to ask us any questions in the Q&A panel while we go through these strategies. So number one, this falls under the pre-buzz bucket, is run your demand gen campaigns to get new users ahead of the sale. Now, I know many of you know about demand gen, but in general, we have seen that brands are slightly hesitant in spending on demand gen campaigns. We have seen some incredible results coming from demand gen purely from creating a buzz perspective. So this is an example of Milton. You see this nice video ad running on the phone. And what we have seen is ahead of any event or festive, Milton runs these demand gen campaigns. What they do is they exclude all their customers, they exclude all their website traffic, and they bring in absolutely new people on their website by showing them either a product or a category video, but by also linking the demand gen to the feed or catalog. Now, many of you may not know that Google had recently rolled out this feature. You can link the demand gen campaign to your catalog or feed. You can see on the right side, there is this image coming at the bottom and a shop now icon. That is exactly how feed linked demand gen campaigns sort of come across. And the best practice is to link your bestseller product set to your demand gen campaign. This could be your hero category, your top selling products. And this has seemed to work really well. What it does is it brings in absolutely new people on the website. These are people who have never purchased your brand. They have never come on your website in the recent past. They are experiencing your brand for the first time. And the reason that is important is during the sale event, we can remarket this traffic and bring in a lot of sales. Second example we have seen again in the pre-buzz category. This is of a brand Only. Only, as you know, is a Western wear brand. They are very big in the denim category among women and men. What they do is they run Advantage Plus campaign, but they run Advantage Plus campaign linked to catalog. Now, many of you may know or may not know that there is an option which you can see on the right side, this toggle button, using which you can link an Advantage Plus campaign to the catalog directly. This is equivalent to the catalog sales campaign, which we used to run on Meta till about a couple of years ago. We call this campaign as DABA campaign, which is dynamic ads for broad audience. By the reason we call it out as broad audience, because this runs on prospective audience and not on remarketing audience. We have seen this campaign does really, really well. It helps us bring in a lot of additional traffic on the product pages ahead of the sale, which can again be remarketed during the sale event. A good practice there is to exclude your lower AOV products, exclude your lower inventory products, focus mostly on your bestseller products again in this particular DABA campaign. So do try it out. There's a toggle button in the Advantage Plus campaigns on the Meta interface. So these are two examples of pre-buzz, something which we have seen work very well. I will now move on to two specific examples of setting up your feed right. Now, feed is, in my opinion, feed is the heart of e-commerce marketing. You get the feed right. We have seen that brands are able to scale their e-commerce campaigns really well. What can you do in your feed ahead of festive? Number one, you can actually focus a lot on titles in your feed. Now, this is an example of Forest Essential. What they do ahead of every festive season is they have a lot of combos on their website, but they link these combos to the specific event which is coming up. For example, if it's Mother's Day which is coming up, they call it as Mother's Day combo, Mother's Day gift set. And we've usually seen that a lot of searches on Google happen related to Mother's Day gifting, and Forest Essential starts to appear at the top. So this is a great strategy. If you have a specific event like a BFCM or a Diwali or a Dashera or a Mother's Day, see which of your catalog can be very customized to that event, and you can update the titles and descriptions onto the Google Merchant Center. Now, very important thing to note, these titles need not be updated on the website. Google clearly calls it out that the title on the Merchant Center, which powers your Google Shopping and organic shopping, need not be same as titles on the website. Website titles are more for, I would say, showing it on the website, but Google Merchant Center titles are more optimized for discovery. So you can also add a lot of attributes to your titles. For example, in apparel, you can add things like material, you can add the type of collar, you can add whether it's a slim fit or a regular fit. All these attributes can be added to the title. And we have seen a distinct improvement in your Performance Max campaigns if these attributes are added to the title. On the feed, again, we commonly see that during the events, because your sale is running at full pace, we see a lot of products going out of stock. Now, they may not completely go out of stock. We see broken sizes as a big problem. So this is an example which we show on Levi's. It's a solid blue round neck top. And we saw that during their recent sale, the small, medium, and the large, and also the XL went out of stock. Now, just because they have one size in stock, technically the product is treated as in stock. But because their core sizes are out of stock, we saw that the conversion rate dropped on the website significantly. This is a very, very big problem, especially in the apparel and footwear space, where core sizes going out of stock can lead to massive wastage of ad budget. A point to note here is your Meta and Google campaigns may continue to spend on this product because as per the true definition of stock status, this product is still considered as in stock. This is where we have seen that if we can apply the criteria of core size logic on top of the catalog, we can remove this product from the catalog and a lot of spends can be saved from wasted on these products. For example, in Levi's, they did this. They saw that whenever the core sizes go out of stock, conversion rates drop by 50%. So a lot of their budget was going wasted into these products. So a big call out for everybody that keep an eye that if you have broken size challenge, how can we actively remove these products from the catalog? Coming to the third bucket for today, third bucket is setting your campaigns right. Goes without saying that if you have to scale during festive or end of season sale, you have to set up your right campaigns. One big learning there we learned from Libas. What they did is they analyzed their previous sale period to identify which of their categories or subcategories did really well last year. Now, I understand this might sound very obvious, but trust me, we all have short memories. We have seen that some of the sale learnings of last year, we tend to forget in the next year. So what we saw for them is one of their categories called Libas Art, which typically is more higher average order value, more festive related category, tends to do really well during the sale period. So we saw that they had a very high sort of a 29x ROS coming on this category last year in the sale period. So when they planned this year, their sale, they call it as Libas Purple Day Sale, PDS. They created separate campaigns for their Libas art collection. So this is very important. Mapping your categories to how much spends you are doing in the category, how much revenue you are getting from the category, and what kind of ROS you are getting from the category, and prioritizing your categories for events based on the performance you have seen in the past. The past could be last year, the past could be the previous sale you have done, but having that category focus, setting up separate PMAX campaign for your top category, or even Facebook catalog sales campaign or DABA campaign for your top category can actually help a lot in scaling during the sale period. The next strategy for campaign we have seen is for Rare Rabbit. They run discount-based product sets. Now, I understand not all your discounts, not all your products might be on the flat discounting. We have seen a lot of brands do very tiered discounting, which means some of their products are on 30% off, some are on 40% off, some are on 50% off. And we have seen that having separate creatives for each discount bucket, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, greater than 50, typically helps a lot. Now, there are two ways it can help. Number one, your overlay on the ad can talk about the specific discount. You don't necessarily need to say that up to 50% off in all the ads. You can say certain products are on 40% discount, certain are on 30% discount. The second benefit is you can actually have different target ROS conditions for each of those. So if you have a 50% plus product set, you probably want to run it at a higher target ROS purely because your gross margins are lower there. And if you have a 30% product set, you probably are okay running it at a lower target ROS as well. Similarly, in Google PMax also, typically we run it on target ROS. We can put the same conditions there as well. The next benefit is also you can push your 30% discount also aggressively if you have different campaigns or different creative set for each of them. Typically, we have seen that 30% discount might also give very good ROS. So pushing that more and more budgets there could actually help you have a successful end of season sale without really discounting it so much. The last point on campaigns is actually very, very interesting. This is from a brand called Include. What they actively did was they had a lot of dead stock, which they wanted to sort of liquidate during the sale. Now, sales are a great time to sell your dead stock or slow moving stock. So what they did is they actually used inventory data from their Shopify and sent it back to the Bigatom tool or to their product analytics view to identify products which were high inventory. And they ran a separate creative or a separate campaign for their high inventory products. Typically, they also put a bar of at least 100, more than 100 inventory for any product. Now, there are two benefits there. Number one, you can push your dead stock, nothing like it. Number two, what it also happens is because all the products have significant inventory, your products don't go out of stock in your campaign. So the campaign is well learned. There are no products going out of the campaign day in and day out. So the performance is very, very stable. We have seen that when you run 100 products and few of them keep going out of stock, the performance of the campaigns become very fluctuating, which is also one of the reasons why brands struggle to scale during these periods. So having that inventory cutoff helps us in clearing the dead stock, but also brings in a lot of stability to our performance. So that sort of brings me towards the last section for today, which I wanted to cover. Of course, we have a Q&A after this and a few offers like Shubham suggested. This section is about three specific creative strategies. Again, we have three examples of brands, which I'll be walking all of you through. The first one is for Bewakoof. So Bewakoof ran this birthday month special. So they turned 12 years just a few months back, and they had this turns 12 birthday month special. So you can see it on the right side of the screen. They have this nice overlay running on top of their catalog. The beauty of this is they implemented overlays at a catalog level and not at an ad level. The benefit of implementing overlay at a catalog level is it runs across all the ads of the brand. You may have around 50, 100, 200 ads. The overlay will be applicable across all 200 ads. And the best part is when they implement this overlay, the ads don't go back into learning. So when we make changes at an ad level, which is ad overlays, it's treated as a significant change by Meta. The ads go back into learning. But when we change these overlays at the catalog level, it's not treated as a significant change by Meta, and the ads don't go back into learning. So you can practically update overlays across all 100 plus ads in one go. And not only apply overlays, after the 12th birthday sale, they also removed the overlay. And in both cases, their performance was very, very stable. They didn't go back into learning at all. We saw roughly about 24% increase in ROS. We saw an 18% increase in CTR by just implementing these catalog overlays. With Purple, we saw that they do a lot of events. So they did a very recent end of summer sale event. I think summer is still going on, but for them, obviously the event worked really well. They had this up to 60% off call out. And what is very interesting is because they updated the base image in the catalog itself, these overlays were running on Instagram as well. So many of you would know that the default native overlays on Meta do not run on Instagram. They run only on Facebook. We have seen many a times brands saying that my end of summer sale or my discount communication is not working on Instagram. And the solution there is to update the base image itself so that it also starts to appear on Instagram. So in this case, they did exactly that. They had this up to 60% off communication running on Instagram. They saw the Instagram CTRs go up significantly, and this was a very big success for them by running these communication on their Instagram as well. The last part of the last strategy or the last learning we have had today is from Sephora. You know, Sephora is, as you know, it's a big beauty brand. What they did is they used something called a template overlays. If you just pay attention to the video on the right side, when you scroll these products, you see 10% off on a few products. You see 30% off on a few products. And you also see the brand name coming at the bottom. You see this nice frame coming on the corners. There is a Sephora brand name coming at the top. Now, all this is possible using something called template overlay. It's not possible through the regular overlays on Meta, because on regular overlays on Meta, you can apply a frame, but the frame can also cover the image of the product. Plus, the frame cannot show custom attributes today. It can only show specific attributes like price and discounting. With template overlays, we have seen brands are able to show the reviews, ratings, their COD availability, discount percentage, price. Any of those information can be shown as part of templates. In fact, Gaurav also spoke about calling it out PID callouts, like exclusively on Aza Fashion, recently launched, first time on discount. All these attributes at a PID level can also be shown using template overlays. So Sephora did exactly this. They implemented template overlays. They saw a 103% increase in their CTRs during their big sale days, which they typically do once every few months. So that sort of brings me to the 10 key strategies for today. These are the 10 examples we spoke about. We spoke about pre-buzz, demand gen, and DABA campaign, feed optimization, where we spoke about title optimization of Forest Essential, removing the broken size products. We spoke about campaign setup and creative setup across a few brands. I would urge all of you to take a screenshot of this. This could become a very handy cheat sheet for all of you. And I'll now pass it on to Shubham to sort of walk us through the rest of the webinar.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, Anshuk, for those amazing insights. I hope this 10 strategies that you just mentioned would be really helpful and will be a great takeaway for brands on how they can scale this end of season sale in 2025. With this, we come to the end of the webinar. Just a quick call out that all these strategies that Anshuk mentioned and also Gaurav walked us through are available on or are you can put those to use using the Bigatom tool. Just a quick overview about Bigatom. It is a SaaS tool. It's a proprietary tech tool that we have built in-house of AdYogi that a lot of brands are leveraging today to scale their performance or catalog sales campaign. It is a tool that is specifically designed for brands who have an in-house team. So our goal here is to empower the in-house team of brands in taking better decisions by the product level analytics that we offer, and also the automations that we offer to help them scale their top line and also bring efficiency in their bottom line revenue as well. On to the next part. With this, we have the exciting part. So, like an offering, we are giving 30 days free trial on the Bigatom tool. You guys can scan the QR code on this right side of the screen and book a free trial. I lead growth here for Bigatom, and you will be meeting me on this call. Happy to walk you through some of the other features that we have during the which was not covered during the webinar and are there on the tool itself. Just a quick call out, it is relevant for brands who are having catalog size of 500 plus unique SKUs and total ad spends greater than 15 lakh. I believe the tool would be really relevant for brands filtering, fitting this criteria. What you will get during this free trial is a comprehensive product analytics. So SKU levels, spends, ROAS, CTR, all those details that were covered during the session will be available. And also we will help you apply a couple of stop loss rules, core size exclusions. Along with that, creation of some of the product sets across Meta and Google is something that you can expect during the free trial of the tool. All right, we are now opening the floor to questions from the audience. Feel free to drop your questions in the chat box. Just check as well if we have questions. All right, so we have some questions here for us. Number one is for Gaurav. Profitability is a big concern for brand these days. Gaurav, what are the levers that you have used in-house to increase profitability? If you can just take it up.
So, in the context of Bigatom, obviously, the margin data and everything is going on, and having an access to spends and n number of different metrics and is a big help. So what we are currently doing is we are seeing it from a two lens, right? Like one is double down on what is working and cut down on what is taking up the big chunk of limited resources. So, double down on what is working is already available at a PID level. I know what is selling. I know how much I'm spending, and if that is enough, at that level. So, say for an example, if 20% of my revenue is coming from say 1,000 PIDs, am I spending 20%? Like the base thing is, am I spending 20% of my budget on those 1,000 PIDs or not? Like that is the starting point, right? Now, if that's not the case, then I'll take measures in terms of improving that spend distribution. And second, cutting down on what is grabbing or taking up too much of your budget, right? Now, say for example, X number of PIDs will kind of bleed us some money, but not be converting to anything. So I can take care of that at an automated level by having a very sharp stop loss rules using Bigatom. Yeah. So three things, use margin data, which you can already feed in your Bigatom. And second is double down what is working and, cut down on what is kind of bleeding you dry.
Thank you, Gaurav, for those three strategies. I think one point you just mentioned is getting visibility on margin data at a category or at an SKU level. I think that's really important for brands. With having visibility on a profitability level, you can actually go slightly deeper on the cost per sale perspective as well, right? You can end up spending more because you know that you have got some leeway in terms of profitability. So, really thankful for that. We have another question, which is what could be one simple feature that I can use immediately on Bigatom, which would help me doing the sale? Praveen, do you want to take it up? Yes, Gaurav.
No, for me is the because my feed is so huge, conveying the USP at a PID level is a game changer for us, right? So that's one thing from if you have to take something from me, that would be the one thing. Yeah.
Sure. Praveen, do you also want to add on here?
Yes, definitely. So just adding on to what Gaurav has mentioned. So when it comes to again that one feature which can help brands scale or maybe see an impact would be I would say stop loss, because when it comes to e-commerce, the product selections become crucial. So given that a lot of brands will be operating with thousands of products, and it won't be easy for them to understand what sort of spends that are happening on the product and what performance that product is driving them. So with Bigatom, you can kind of collate data from multiple channels or multiple, platforms like Google, Meta, GA4, or even your Adobe Analytics to understand what sort of performance these products are driving. And in most cases, what we have seen is we have seen brands spending on at least 30% of the products, which are driving them less than 1x of ROAS, even if their account average is 3x or 4x. So by excluding those products, you can definitely see an uptick in terms of the performance or even the ROAS, which we have seen across brands. So I think that could be one single feature that brands can kind of get on board and kind of implement to see like immediate results. While of course like a tool can also kind of help you solve like different problem statements, not only limited to marketing, which is the efficiency, but also at the business level, like what sort of discounting that the brand should operate at, or maybe like what the inventory is looking like for merchandising, and even at the profitable different from what like Gaurav was mentioned. So I think, yeah, definitely, like starting with stop loss is a good way, and post that we can, like kind of also explore other features that is in the tool.
Sure. Thank you, Praveen, for that detailed answer. I have another question here for you, Praveen. What is the difference between catalog overlays and meta advanced enhancements? How is it different?
Okay, so if I understood the question right, maybe it's about like how Bigatom overlays are different from the catalog overlays, or the enhancements that Meta offers.
Yes.
Well, okay. So when it comes to overlay or enhancements, usually like what we think of is just normal frames, or covering the edges of the product image with discount or price label in the corner. But it doesn't help you communicate other things. For example, like given that we are speaking about the sale, so you would want your audience to know that your brand is on sale. It's just not that product has 40% discount. While Meta's default enhancements will let you show the price or discount, but they don't help you communicate bigger messages like end of season sale is live, or maybe like sale ends in 3 days, etc. Just like what we have seen in examples of Sephora, Beoku for Purple in the previous slides. So that is where like Bigatom overlay plays a major role. With Meta saying, creative is your next targeting, like Bigatom helps you put out those bold communication even on the catalog ads that will be visible both on like Facebook and Instagram placements, or with dynamic attributes like discount price, the product name, etc. What Anshuk has covered. So also, you can Bigatom helps you apply these overlays across your entire catalog with just like one single click, which won't mess up your ad learning. Because whenever you go and update the overlays on the ads natively on Meta, the ad would go into learning, which you don't want at the start of the sale. Because like if the ads, all the ads are in the learning phase during the start of sale, then it would impact your performance. So that can be avoided by like kind of using the overlay feature through Bigatom. And also, it's not that you have to push one single communication across your catalog. So with Bigatom's rule-based overlay, what you can do is you can come up with different variants of the overlay, and you can kind of set up a rule that these overlays can be visible only on certain categories or collections. So this way, you can keep the communication relevant for each product. And like I think like this is where Bigatom overlay makes a difference.
Sure. Thank you, Praveen, for that. We have another question here. As we have multiple categories to promote and having separate targets and want to allocate specific budget to each categories, want to know what should be the ideal campaign structure on Meta, and also want to know anything that works regarding scaling, because as soon as we try to scale, our ROAS starts getting dipped. Anshuk, do you mind taking this up?
Yes. So it's a common challenge we see across brands. So two, three things. Number one, if you have multiple categories, the first thing we should try to identify is which are the hero categories. And typically we see that top one or two or three categories are the hero categories. They typically would probably have around 60-70% of the revenue coming at an overall level. So for the top two, three categories, we recommend running a separate Meta campaign. It could be an Advantage Plus campaign. It could also be a traditional conversion campaign. In each of these campaigns, we recommend putting a couple of video content if you have of that category. We also recommend putting a few banner ads if you have that category. And most importantly, we recommend putting a lot of catalog linked ads. So imagine the number one category, let's say shirts, number two is t-shirts, number three is denim. So one Advantage Plus campaign for each of them. In the shirts campaign, put a few videos, few images, few catalog linked ads of shirts. Similarly for t-shirts, similarly for denim. And you may have a fourth campaign, which could be multiple categories or all other category campaigns, where you can put in all the other categories. It could be different ad sets. Each ad set could have a different category of its own. Similar structure on Google. We recommend having different PMAX campaign for your top 3-4 categories. We recommend a catch-all campaign for all other categories. Demand gen, we recommend running it for your top 1 or 2 categories again. So that's the sort of a structure we recommend. Of course, there could be additional campaigns on Meta for maybe your sale campaign. It could be for your specific, let's say, city campaign if you want to run that, which could be on top of your category campaigns. All these category campaigns can be running all India. In terms of your second question, which is when we scale, the ROS tends to dip. This is a common problem we all face. If you increase the budgets too rapidly, ROS tends to dip in primarily because Meta reaches out to new audience, which may not convert in the first go. So I would recommend increasing the budgets gradually. Typically, a good rule of thumb is not increasing by more than 10% in one go. Even if you have to increase it by, let's say, a substantial amount, increase it over a period of, let's say, 3, 4, 5 days, where every time you increase by 10%, and that cumulatively becomes like a 20, 30%. We also recommend observing it at least for a 7-day period before you take a decision of descaling it. We see a lot of late attribution happening, which is also one of the reasons why the ROS in the ads manager starts to look lower. Once the late attribution comes in, it starts to look much better. Back to you, Shubham.
Thank you. Thank you, Anshuk, for that. We have one last question here. What were some of the key learnings from past sale events that helped Aza prepare better for upcoming sale events? Gaurav, do you mind answering this question?
So I think Anshuk has already answered most of the things in his presentation, right? But yeah, like I think laser focus is very important when you're dealing with too many products or a large catalog, right? So I would always say, understand what people are buying over time. Anshuk also mentioned that see what is selling over the sale periods, or what was selling before when you ran sale or something like that. So have a background understanding and build upon what the current trend is going on, and then start gradually. So there are a number of different matrix available. Try and study those, and focus on them, and make sure you kind of reach out, like reach out to right people and show them the right product. I think that's the mix we should generally follow. Yeah.
Thank you, Gaurav, for that.
Thank
With
you.
this, we come to the end of the webinar. A huge shout out to all the panelists who've joined us, giving their amazing insights, and also a special thank you to all the attendees who joined us today. With this, we'll end the webinar, and stay tuned for our next webinar. We'll keep you posted as well. Thank you all for joining.